In 2010, a 20-year-old Marine named Kyle Carpenter deployed to Helmand Province, Afghanistan, one of the most dangerous regions in the war. He joined the Marine Corps wanting to devote his life to something greater than himself. He had no idea how literally that promise would be tested. He and a fellow Marine, Nick Eufrazio, were assigned to guard a rooftop position at Patrol Base Dakota, surrounded only by a low wall of sandbags. It was hot, rugged terrain, and the days blurred together with the constant tension of enemy contact nearby. On the morning of November 21st, the platoon woke to the sound of gunfire. Enemy forces had moved into position, hidden behind compound walls across the street, and launched a coordinated attack on the patrol base with rifles and grenades. Then, a hand grenade landed inside their small sandbagged position, just feet from where the two Marines stood. The pin was already pulled. There was no time to run, and nowhere to go. Without hesitation, and with complete disregard for his own safety, Kyle moved toward the grenade. He doesn't remember the decision. He only remembers everything going white. He placed his body between the blast and his friend. The blast tore through him instantly, shrapnel and force absorbed entirely by his own body. Feet away, his friend Nick Eufrazio survived with only minor wounds. Kyle's shield had worked. He was rushed onto a medevac helicopter, wounds covering his entire body. On the flight, and again in the hospital, his heart stopped. 3 times, doctors brought him back. By all accounts, Kyle Carpenter should not have survived that day. Back home in South Carolina, his family got only fragments of information. Their son had been badly wounded. His chances of survival were unknown. For days, they knew almost nothing and could do nothing but wait. For 5 weeks, there was nothing. No pain, no thought, not a sliver of light. Kyle later described it simply. He faded out on a hot, dusty rooftop in Afghanistan and woke up on the other side of the world. It was snowing outside, and it was Christmas time. When Kyle finally opened his eyes, his world had completely changed. He had lost his right eye, much of his jaw, and use of his right arm. He didn't recognize his own reflection, but he was alive, impossibly, unbelievably alive. What followed was nearly 3 years in the hospital. Kyle endured almost 40 surgeries to rebuild his face, his arm, and his body. Each operation was a small step on an impossibly long road back. He had to relearn the most basic things. How to walk, how to tie his own shoes. Things a young man never imagines having to learn twice in one lifetime. Slowly, painfully, he got stronger. Every small milestone mattered. His first steps, his first solid meal. His family never left his side, and Kyle later said those years taught him more about what mattered than a lifetime otherwise could have. Years passed. Kyle left the hospital, went on to college, and slowly rebuilt a life that once seemed impossible. He carried visible scars, but he also carried something else. A fierce, unshakable appreciation for being alive. In June of 2014, President Obama placed the Medal of Honor around Kyle's neck at the White House. At just 24 years old, he became the youngest living Marine ever to receive the nation's highest military honor. Years later, Kyle returned to Afghanistan, walking again on the ground that nearly took his life. He called it empowering, a final piece of his healing. Today, he travels the world sharing a simple message that every single life and every single person is worth fighting for.